So today is going to be a very adventurous day. We're going to the Singapore Zoo as well as the River Wonders, which is sort of like a river safari. And then we're going to end that day with the night safari, which is sort of like a nighttime bus ride. We get to see some nocturnal animals in their natural habitat.
Woo!
And then for food, not sure yet.
How much is this? And I wore red, white, and blue and ate a cake. Okay, so on a free weekend, Hans and I decided to go to the Singapore Zoo. It's something that is just sort of one of those things that you do when you're in Singapore. It is massive. This zoo is like next level. I had been once before, but even then I really didn't see like everything it had to offer. So Hans and I decided to go.
Not
So basically the zoo has like a ton of different experiences. There's like a river safari, the regular zoo, like the elephant caves, all sorts of things like that. There's a bunch of different tours. Because it's so big, there are like little cars that take you around if you want to hop on. There's also a night safari. I did this the first time I came to Singapore years ago with two of my best friends, and I'm fully convinced that the animals are not real, they're fake, and that we're just paying money for that. So I wouldn't really recommend that, but going to the actual zoo, very solid. One thing that Hans likes to tell people, which I hate, he'll like, okay, so I'm not necessarily an animal person. I don't dislike animals. I have a dog. It's like, you know, I've had pets growing up. It's just like when you walk down the street, I was never one of those people that is like, oh my God, your dog is so cute. Can I pet it? Like, not really. I'm just like, that's your dog. Like, we're chilling. It's fine. But Hans will literally tell his friends like, Sydney hates animals. Sydney never wants to go to the zoo because she hates animals. So to prove him wrong, we ended up going to the zoo. I loved it. I also have never seen Hans like being crazy over animals, except for cats. He really likes cats, which is sad because he's allergic to cats. So back to what we were actually talking about, the zoo was incredible. There were lots of different feeding shows, and yeah, it's definitely a trek to get there from like CBD, like the business district and like where all the tourists stay, so you should definitely like make a day of it. But there are restaurants, there's a Starbucks, of course we went there, lots of cafes, lots of things to do. So yeah, you can easily spend your entire day there. Highly recommend. Ooh.
Sensei, the bigger the nose, the more attractive.
I want him to like look up and flap it around. All the little ones are like,
They want to grow up to be like daddy.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed our favorite animals, but next up we headed to the elephant reserve, and it was really, really well done. You can tell that the animals, like every single animal at the zoo, is like really well taken care of. It was super cool to see these like little side info facts. This was actually paper made out of elephant poop, which is crazy. They have a lot of these like hidden alleyways and things like that, and after that we walked next to a show. We actually didn't know that it was going on, so it was perfect timing. It was also kind of random, really weird. There were things like this going on in the audience and like no one seemed to notice. I don't know, it was kind of strange. But the entire like premise of the show was like protecting our rainforests, how important it is to take care of the earth, and sort of warning against the dangers and the damages that humans can do to the planet. But yeah, the host was really sweet and funny, and this was the ending of his magical like rainforest comes back to life. Anyway, regardless, it was super sweet, and yeah, this is sort of the rest of our afternoon. What do you think of the zoo?
I think the Singapore Zoo is really, really awesome. It's extremely large, has all the animals you could ever wish for, but in close proximity, so we could see all the animals up close and personal. I felt like the animals were in really nice natural habitats, so the animals didn't feel like they were cooped up in a small area. They actually had room to, you know, explore and live their lives.
So, as you can tell, the pandas were definitely the highlight of the zoo. It was actually the baby panda Lele's birthday, and that's why everything was kind of done up bigger than it usually is. So, for this next part, this is all part of the River Wonders pack that you can add on to the zoo experience, and there's a river quest. We actually weren't sure about doing it, so we bought tickets right before we got on, literally like 5 minutes before, and it's this like water boat ride. Be careful though, because you definitely will get a little bit wet, but nothing too crazy. There's tons of animals and different signs where you can see the different animals while you go through this boat. I think it's something that you maybe do once and you don't have to do again. The animals are the same animals that you can see at the zoo itself, but the experience of being in a boat makes it a little more different. This squirrel monkey forest, I would highly recommend. It's kind of crazy at times, but super, super cool. And then finally, to end the day, we headed to the aquarium section of the zoo. Singapore also has an amazing aquarium, but don't sleep on this part of the zoo because it was amazing. It's basically in like a nature reserve, kind of farther out away from the urban city center. So we ended up taking a Grab, which is like a Singaporean Uber, to the zoo. But then when we were trying to get back, there were no Grabs in the area, like none even available to call. So we ended up taking a bus and then transferred to the MRT, and that's like the subway here in Singapore, and it's super convenient. And then we took that all the way back to home.